Bring it to the table. I'm your host, Allison Smith, and here at Spencer Cable Access, we're looking to create a space for artisans, makers, farmers, and producers to bring what they make to the table to share with all of you. I want to wish all of you a happy holiday and this extra special episode where we are going to meet the wonderful caretakers and operators of Maple Hill Farm. Now, your farm has really put our area on the map by being the world's best disc golf course 3 years running. How amazing is that?
It's fabulous.
It is fabulous. You also do cut trees, these beautiful wreaths, and we have an extra special surprise at the end for kind of the future of Maple Hill Farm. Now, I got to go there with my mother-in-law to purchase these beautiful wreaths and got to meet you and your wonderful, fantastic, good-looking, high-energy crew when you were open for the tree cutting. Mm-hmm. Do you want to talk about your crew that helps you maintain your beautiful land?
Yes, we have a caretaker. His name is Cage. He maintains the land. Does a lot of mowing, picking up sticks, cutting trees, stuff like that.
I have to say, he does a really wonderful job. You have immaculately maintained forests, which is not something you see very often.
And we have Ryan. He's the course manager. He's in the shop. He sells discs.
That's right.
Events.
When we went for a tour, you had a full disc golf pro shop.
Yes, and we have people from all around the United States and the world. We have a United States map, and we have pins. When a person comes, they can pin where they're from. And I think we've had every state.
Yeah, every state's represented.
Really?
Yep.
That's amazing.
And what's really amazing is the people that make a day trip to come to see Maple Hill and play Maple Hill and go home the same day on a flight. From California.
Now, who wouldn't want to come meet you two wonderful people? Tommy Southwick and Karen Britton are really making a place that everybody wants to come to. Isn't that great?
It is, but we have a lot of support with our people that work with us and our family, basically.
My partner, Steve Dodge, he plans all the big event, the big tournament where the best players in the world compete every year.
I was blown away by that because, quite honestly, you were telling me that you have over tens of thousands of people come and visit you in September, really putting our region on the map.
Yes. I think it helps with the economy, hopefully.
It should, right?
Yeah. It should, yes.
The other interesting part was that it's a whole kind of infrastructure. There's this whole kind of disc golf world. Mm-hmm. That I didn't even know was out there.
It is.
It's one of the fastest growing sports in the country, the world, actually.
It's kind of like extreme golf, isn't it?
Well, I don't know. You mean like ball golf?
Well, it seems like, it's very physical. I noticed from watching some of the professionals that you showed me. Yeah. I've also, you don't know what exactly is going to happen. Plus, it's in any conditions. Rain, shine. Geez, could be. Who knows? Oh. Hopefully no snow.
No, not September. No, please.
You never know in New England, do you?
No, you don't. We've had a good mix, though. We've been pretty lucky. We do have rainy days, and there's mud, and
yes,
the pros do not necessarily like that. They're kind of stars in their own right.
Yeah, the biggest enemy is wind, since you are throwing a disc.
Right.
So it can blow the disc anywhere.
Yeah, you were showing us how there were so many misses. There was just hit after hit after hit after hit on the trees.
Yes.
So let's go with the trees here for a moment, and we'll get back to the disc golf. So you have cut your own trees, and it seems like people know to come and get their trees from you. What kind of trees do you have?
Well, I have Canaan fir, Fraser fir, concolor, and grand fir.
Amazing. So they can come. I noticed you have those really cool carts, and they can go anywhere throughout the course,
yeah.
right? They get their little saws. I noticed that you had a lot of little details where even you had gloves for
Yes.
people, and you had everything that they could possibly need to get their beautiful, and you had really, really full trees. I noticed
Thank
they
you.
were very, very full and beautiful, and people were having fun being able to go out through the course and pick any tree they want, right?
Right.
Correct.
Any,
Yep.
any size.
Yeah, and it was reasonable, I thought. So the tree cut your own is $80, right? And then these beautiful wreaths I thought was a really good find for 40,
Correct.
which is amazing.
They're very fresh.
They're so fresh, and I have them on my front door. So I'm glad I got them because you sold out of
Yes.
everything,
Yes, we
right?
did.
Yeah, yeah.
So people really have to come early to get their trees.
They do.
Yes,
Yeah, the first weekend after Thanksgiving, they
that's
wipe us out.
As you saw, you came on a Sunday, and that was the last day.
Yeah.
But you've been doing trees for a very long time, haven't you?
Yes.
So can we talk a little bit about the history of your farm?
Sure.
We know Maple Hill, so you were talking about how was it your father and your grandfather were
yeah.
doing sugaring? Was it also your great-grandfather? Because you were kind of saying that you might, I know you don't look at yourself as a farmer, but in truth you really are. Especially like as far as forestry goes and land maintenance and the trees. You are producing these trees. So tell me a little bit about the history of your farm, how you transferred from, maple syrup sugaring to disc golf and, how that kind of happened.
Yeah, when I was growing up, we made maple syrup every year.
Yes.
Collected all the sap and boiled it down. And then when the gypsy moths attacked, we lost permission to tap most of the trees because they were so weakened. And that was like 86, I believe.
Oh, wow. So it was
And that's-
fairly recently.
And that's when we stopped doing it, yeah.
And it was the pests.
Yes.
And the trees are getting really old.
Yes. Gotcha.
Yeah.
So do you still have a lot of maples on your property?
Yes.
Yes. So they're still there. They're just getting a rest.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
They're over 200 years old.
Oh, that's amazing. On your website, www.maplehillchristmas.com, you can see some really amazing old video of not only the maple sap collection, also there was a sawmill.
Right. After the hurricane of 38, my grandfather bought tracts of land,
Yes.
harvested the trees that were blown down for the sawmill.
Amazing. What an amazing way to keep your land clear and healthy, but also put it to good use, because that's what you really have to do, right? So, again, how'd you get into the disc golf thing, though?
Well, my cousin down the street,
Yes.
Jason, he started disc golf probably in the 80s.
Okay.
He was doing it for a long, long time,
Yes.
but it was always free.
Oh.
And then he started charging, and I thought, I have more land than he does.
The light bulb went off.
So my cousin moved up here from Virginia,
Yep.
and we started the course together.
So this really is a family farm.
Yes.
Yes. So you got family, friends, a really good crew around you, your lovely lady, and you're having fun. You're working hard, but you're having fun. That's what I noticed, that you all were really having a good time. And disc golf is a really fun, healthy, interactive, great exercise kind of sport. And it's pretty lackadaisical because you get to, walk the course, do
Yeah.
your thing.
See nature.
See nature, exactly. Karen, would you like to talk a little bit about your edible gardens
Oh,
and
yes.
your landscaping of the grounds?
So, being a girl, of course, I love having flowers around, and I had the boys build me beds
Yes.
because the ground is rather hard around the farm in spots. And we started with just basic flowers and had some problems because we have all kinds of creatures trying to use a soft earth of the beds, like our snappers.
Yes. These are
And-
the turtles.
Oh, yeah, snapping
Yes.
turtles. Oh, they just love those soft beds to make their nest where all the eggs go. But when we did that, we decided, actually, people are going all of these directions, and one of the areas is way back on
Yes.
the farm, and we call it the Cutler Place. And there's nothing back there. And it's like, I thought, I have raspberry bushes. Let's start by putting some up there for people to enjoy. And I got blueberry bushes, and then we started planting tomatoes up there for the summer, and we've got nasturtiums. And we're still looking for different ideas, asking people what they'd like to see as a snack when they're up there. Something different, you know?
I love getting a little snack on the road when you're hiking around.
Oh, I
Isn't it
know.
the
And-
best?
And some people have asked if they could bring, they have, I have blueberry bushes I don't want anymore. Will you take them? Of course I will.
I'll take very good care of them.
I will find a new home for them. I have a place in mind. It's like, we have on hole 18, the last hole, we've been trying to get some fruit trees going. We've got some plum trees and some pear trees and peach trees. Nothing yet, but we're hopeful. But
It's only a matter of time, right?
it's only a matter of time.
So you are kind of flexing your homesteader muscles by kind of canning and
Oh, yes.
doing your preservations and really making the most out of your land.
Yes, we are. Actually, a family member had given me raspberry bushes, which are now in sister-in-law's places. Neighbors have some. I take the raspberries and I make raspberry jam, and it seems like that's people's favorite favorite Christmas present. We have grapes and we do grape juice. My peach tree didn't produce, but I do I love canning peaches. Everybody loves canned peaches. And he loves his peach cobbler. So,
Who doesn't?
and we've got the garlic, and sometimes our garden does good and sometimes it doesn't. This year the garlic was okay, but like everybody else, I think we all had problems with our gardens this year.
Yeah, it was wet. Speaking of wet, you have a lot of ponds on your property. Speaking of the snapping turtles, right?
Yes.
How many ponds do you have?
I'd say about 5
And
main men's.
they're big. And I think this is part of what makes your course so exciting.
Oh, it's just a pond, get over it.
Oh, no. You told us all of what happens with these wonderful things
Oh, yeah.
in those ponds. You care to share a little bit with our audience?
Well, we have a diver. He comes probably every week and a half.
Oh my God.
Uses a tank of oxygen and gets about between 250 and 300 discs
A time.
every time he comes.
I know I got to pick one out.
And in spite of that, a guy flies up from California. His name is Mark Verocci. And during the main tournament, he just wades around in the pond picking up discs that he happens to step on and dive down and get. And he gets like 3,000.
Amazing. And all of this is a lot of eye candy because there's a lot of different colors, there's a lot of different designs. You had showed me his post of how many he had got, and
Yes.
it was quite the sight. It
Yes.
was really, it was like a rainbow color. You
Beautiful.
could see how it would go really well on Instagram.
Yes.
Yes, I'm sure it got a lot of likes for sure. So how many acres do you have all these ponds on?
It's about 70.
Amazing.
Yep.
And that is most of that trees and course?
Yes.
Yes, it's mostly. It did look like you are maintaining all of that land for the most part.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, it seemed all very meticulously maintained. So you also must be foresting and probably harvesting firewood. I know that you were heating your house with firewood
Yes.
for sure. So
Yep.
that's part of your maintenance of the forest, correct?
Yes.
Do you want to talk a little bit about how you maintain the land so beautifully?
Well, I basically just pick a tree that's surrounded by too many trees, and I'll cut that tree for firewood.
Right.
To give the other trees a chance to grow.
So you will, you have a full cycle of, cutting fresh
Right.
and letting that dry out probably for probably a year and a half now.
Yeah,
'Cause
I stay 2 years ahead.
You
so,
do. You
yeah.
do stay 2 years ahead.
Yep.
So you're out there with your tractor, cutting down the trees, pulling them out, much like your father before you,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, he always heated with wood.
Yeah. Yeah, that's incredible.
Yep.
So it really is a generational farm.
Yes, it is. But you didn't mention that when he stacks the wood for us to use for the wood boiler, he does it in a Holzhausen style.
I noticed that.
Yes.
I did. I actually just when I was parking, I happened to park by them.
Yeah.
But it is very aesthetically pleasing.
It's a German.
Yeah, I saw that on
Concept.
YouTube. Had to try it.
Amazing.
There's a lot of advantages to doing it that way. It's very stable,
Yes.
because if you make a row of trees, there's different kinds of trees. They dry and shrink at different rates, and all of a sudden that's leaning.
After stacking that wood,
Yeah,
you
so
don't
you-
want it to fall.
So you make the round piles, they're very stable.
Yes.
And I'll have my splitter here. The wood comes off the splitter, and then I'm just stacking it here. If I made a long row, I'd have to carry it further and further as I went.
Jeez, I'm taking tips
Yeah.
down.
Oh, you do wood too?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I have a 20-acre forest
Wow.
to maintain. Yeah. Yep. So it's a lot of work. Yeah, it really, really is. It's a labor of love, right?
Yes.
You love the trees. So let's talk about your wreaths that you make.
Yeah, like a lot of people, they buy a truckload of spruce or something, and they make the wreaths out of spruce. As you can see, there's an eclectic mix of greens.
Yes, there is. We
In
see.
mine, we have, this is con color.
Yes, which is one of the trees too that you can
Yep.
purchase.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely. It's topped with Canaan. So each wreath is
Unique.
pretty much unique.
And these are greens from his farm. These are only the trees that he
Yeah, I
has on the farm.
fresh cut all the material myself.
Now, do you shape the trees,
He
Yes,
does.
every
or do you
year.
pick like a certain? Is this part of tree shaping, or is this like you pick your own greens that'll be perfect for the wreaths?
Yeah, this is like leftover trees that are crooked or not fit enough to sell.
Oh, okay. Like you were picking out a bushy
wanted-
little cutie pie there.
I
That,
wanted Charlie Brown.
but that was what you would use for the
Yes.
wreaths. Do you want to talk a little bit about how you do this?
Well, I have a wreath machine. That's
Oh, you do.
basically a foot activated clamp.
Oh.
So I'll arrange the greens into, some kind of, you can feel how much you need for the clamp to grab onto. I'll put that down in the clamp, step on the thing, and it'll just close the clamp around it. And then you
Amazing.
go to the next one, and I think there's 14 bunches in each wreath.
Amazing. I had no idea.
It's. I tell him he's artistic, and it really is. He does beautiful, beautiful work.
This is why
Yeah.
you're bringing it to the table. I love
Yes.
it.
And then
So
Karen's sister decorates them.
she does.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. Can you tell us a little bit about that for your sister? What's your sister's name?
That's Kathy Verratti.
Very good. So tell me how she gets her
So we do purchase these,
the cute little bells.
the bells
Yeah.
and the ribbons.
Yep.
But these pine cones come from our adventures. Some of them are from the farm, some are from family members and friends. And then we do the painting to give it a little extra oomph.
So every tree has a story, and it seems like every pine cone
Yes,
has its
they do.
story as well.
Some of these are from Nickerson State Park. Yeah, the pine
So
cones.
truly, all of your adventures, not
Yeah.
only just on your farm, because it seems like you and Mecca, it's a pit bull, right?
Yeah, she's a staffy.
Oh, it's Staffy, yes. You all are having lots of adventures.
Oh, yes, we do. We do.
Yes. Having a good time. Mm-hmm. That's great.
Yep.
So, how many wreaths do you make a year?
Yeah, this year I made 35.
And they went like that.
Yeah, the first weekend.
Because I was there towards the end, and I got two that would kind of match, and then there was only one left, and now you have none left whatsoever.
Yes.
Now let's talk about the disc golf. You gotta. I'm honestly naive to it, and I think a lot of our audience at home doesn't know much about it, so kind of just give us a little crash course on disc golf for everybody.
It's played similar to ball golf, where you count your strokes, play 18 holes.
Okay,
There's 3 main types of discs.
very cool.
You have a driver,
All right.
sharp, thin edge. That's for distance. You have a mid-range for accurate, shorter shots. This is mid-range. And then you have a putter for
Okay.
putting it into the basket. And you can tell the putter has the bluntest edge.
And it's a little heavier.
Not necessarily.
No, just a different shape.
Yeah. and
Okay.
The flight of the disc, if it's rotating clockwise, it's going to fade out to the left. The driver more so than the mid-range and the putter.
Okay.
How much it fades out to the left depends on the speed that you throw it.
Oh.
So a pro might throw this, and it might actually fade right for a while, and then come back left.
Neat.
Whereas an amateur would throw it, and it would just go wrong.
Right.
So you have to choose the disc appropriate to your skill level.
So there is 18 holes, like a regular
Yep.
course. And then the really interesting part is you had 4 different setups according to, I think gold was pro.
Yeah.
Maybe you could talk a little bit
Yeah, we
about
have a
that.
red course for beginners.
Okay.
It's shorter and avoids the water. If you
Good.
get a little bit better, you can play the white course.
Yes.
And then you have to do some water carries, and holes get a little further. After that, there's a blue course,
Okay.
and then the diamond course, and then the gold course.
Most of that depends on like how close you are to the, is it still called a hole?
Yes.
Okay. What do you call it a basket though? Like the,
Yep, basket.
okay. But you're shooting for the hole. I'm learning.
You're
I'm
doing very
learning.
good. You're doing
now,
very good.
I was watching some of the videos on YouTube. So is Skins like a brand?
That's a type of competition
Okay.
where
I'm like, what's Skins? It sounds.
you have
Is it
to
like Skins?
so you have to
Give me some skin.
win the hole
Okay.
to win the skins.
Oh, that
So-
because they were getting $100 if they
Yeah.
made the hole.
So if people tie in hole 1, there's no skins. They tie and it carries over. So now hole 2
so it's like
is worth twice
money
as much.
skins.
Yes,
Yeah, so-
exactly.
Okay. So there's actually big money in this.
Oh, it,
Oh, the top pros sign multi-million-dollar contracts now.
10-year, $1 million a year.
Mind
contracts.
blown. And you're telling me that I'm a senior citizen in the world of disc golf. I don't think I like it anymore.
Yeah. There's a new group of youngsters coming up that are just phenomenal.
Now, your manager, Ryan, is he in the whole infrastructure as far as like, does he play or is he just like a fan or
He
what?
plays.
He plays.
Oh, he does.
Yeah, he's not going to win any
No,
major
no,
tournaments
You're
or
not
anything.
you're not putting any skins on him,
No, he's more like leisure,
Yeah,
casual play.
but he's into it.
Yeah.
He's totally into it. Probably drooling about some of the pros.
Oh, yeah.
Because it seems like there are some disc golf celebrities, if
Oh, yes.
you will.
Oh, yes.
There was some big names.
Simon Lazat.
I couldn't remember his
Yeah,
name.
Very cool.
He's from Germany. He's one of the best in the world, and he's also a top YouTuber.
This was big on YouTube. I noticed
Yeah,
that.
he'll-
Plus, your farm is on there a lot. It's like Maple
Oh, yes.
Hill,
yeah,
Maple Hill, and he's moving closer, probably for Maple Hill.
Yes.
Right?
yeah. He's famous for doing trick shots, like playing holes that aren't really holes, that are just
Okay.
incredibly far, and he'll almost ace them. Like,
He's spicing it up. Huh?
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
This is what I mean. It's kind of like extreme. You don't have anybody spicing it up in regular golf. You know, they're not doing golf tricks or anything.
right?
So it has that kind of edge to it, which is really, really cool.
I think part of it is the youth in it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it seems to be a whole, like, event. It's like an extravaganza almost that you put on.
Oh, it
Oh,
is an
yeah.
extravaganza. It starts, it's a,
Tell us about it.
the MVP Open is typically a 4-day event. And each day, we have vendors there.
Oh.
There are merchandise vendors. There is food vendors. There's people being bussed in from different parking areas. So we don't, because we're small. We're
Yeah.
really a farm.
Yes.
And people are just so excited to come. Oh, I'm so glad I saw Maple Hill. But it's just amazing how many people, whole families, I mean, really young kids, people, I mean, newborns all the way up to, the teens, and there's older people. I mean, it's amazing how many different variety of people you see.
Yeah, and you have
All
a
walks.
grandstand.
Oh, yeah, my grandstand is just a sight to be seen.
So you were kind of saying that this really took off for you. You started in 2005, right?
Yes.
And then it's really taken off for you since COVID because
Yes.
it's a really fun outdoor activity for families.
Yes.
So for the regular person who wants to try disc golf out, they can come January
First, it opens
1st.
up again.
Okay, tell us what your season is so people can know when to come, how to come. Do you need to bring your discs? Like what's the deal?
I'm going to let you.
Yeah.
He's better at
Well,
it.
if you have discs, you can bring them, of course. If you're
Okay.
a brand new beginner, you can borrow some discs.
Yeah,
Okay.
we have
And,
loaners,
So
you
but
can
that's
just
when
come-
the shop is open during.
Yeah, the shop's open from 9 to dark.
Okay.
Changes to.
All right, yeah.
During the summer. And,
Yeah.
So it's kind of daytime hours.
Yeah.
And then
Correct.
you're kicking people out.
Well, no, actually,
Well, just the shop won't be open.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You're not kicking anybody out though.
well, if they're going to be silly, it gets dark on that hill
Yes.
fast, especially this time of year. So,
So they're not out there with their headlamps or
No.
anything like that.
no, sometimes you see them with their phone trying to find their disc again, but
Gotcha.
not that many.
Yeah, and up to 9 o'clock is kind of reserved for members,
Okay.
but you can play if you pay a lot of money.
Okay. So you have members too.
Oh,
Yeah.
lots of members.
And we have
Oh.
everybody. You have to go online to do a tea time.
Okay.
It's through the maplehilldiscgolf.com
Oh, good to know.
website, and it tells you the hours. And actually, if you look, you can see the temperature, the weather.
Perfect.
Because on our hill, we're up by the airport in Worcester, and it is not the same as a lot of
Yeah.
areas. People find out the hard way.
Yeah, you had a real height of land
Yes.
there. Yes.
And the weather is very different than down. A lot of people come from Worcester or Brookfield or Spencer, and they think, oh, it's cold here.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah, it is I would say it's a good 10 degrees colder than, let's say, Worcester.
yeah.
I
Yeah.
think so.
Yeah, I think so too. Which I love. I love the crisp air and the freshness.
Yes,
and-
when I'm outside, yes, I like
yes.
that.
Yes, I do too. So, anything else we need to know about disc golf?
I,
Can't think of anything.
Anybody can do it, basically.
Yes?
It was fairly handicap accessible. You were saying that you all were learning sign language a bit too,
Ryan knows a little bit in the shop.
because you get a lot of hearing impaired individuals as well. So it's really open to anybody.
Correct.
Really,
Yes.
you welcome anybody to come and enjoy the course.
yes,
Yes.
and when you say it's accessible, you got to remember it is the outdoors, so that's got to be considered because
Yes.
we don't have sidewalks or anything like that.
Right.
But,
Right. But still, you could come enjoy
Oh,
the
sure.
farm.
Yeah,
Yes.
for
e-
sure.
even if you're terrible, you're walking miles each round, so it's great exercise, good
It
for
is.
you.
It is. It takes a fit person for sure.
And there are people that come and they say, this is their church. We have benches throughout the course, and people will sit and they just will
Take it in.
just
Watch
take
a
it in.
woodpecker pecking at a tree for half an hour.
Oh, yeah.
That's wonderful. Yeah, because
It
they
is.
probably don't get that kind of environment.
correct.
And nature really is healing.
I think it's the best therapy. I really do.
I do too. And speaking of that, Karen, you were telling me how you do a bit of community outreach. And for 3 years, you have been bringing Meals on Wheels.
Yes, I love my people.
Oh, yay.
I work out of the Leicester Center, and I do it twice a week. And I have good days and bad days. I always want to see my people, and I want them to be happy. I go in with my food. I try to smile and try to make their day, because a lot of times you find that you're the only person that they've seen or are going to see all day. You're making sure that they're okay. You're doing, we're not just delivering meals, we're doing a wellness check too.
Isn't that wonderful?
It is, and you know, one of the wonderful, it's hard when you lose a person off your route and you wonder, what happened? And nobody can tell you.
Right.
But I had a wonderful thing happen this year. Somebody went off my route, and I knew they were having medical issues. And at Thanksgiving, I got a text. He goes, you know, happy Thanksgiving, Karen. You know, it's like, wow, nobody knew where he was. And I went to go see him the other day. It was wonderful to see him. I wish I could catch up with the people that I've lost. I don't know if they're okay. But anybody that wants to have some enrichment in their life, I encourage you to go and volunteer. Go out there, do things. It is such a great feeling. And I feel kind of selfish doing it in some ways because I'm leaving him and my dog, and you know, I could be doing things at home, but this is for me. I've always volunteered in some way, and this is my selfishness.
It's also for them as well because they
Yeah.
get to see your light up their life face.
I do light up when I see him.
Yes.
It's a
more-
special thing.
You're not just feeding their bodies, you're feeding their souls.
They're feeding mine too.
And you were saying that Tommy would have to help you out sometimes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, if there's like...
Once in a while, there's a person that has a TV that they touch the wrong buttons, and I can't help him. I said, Tommy, can you please help me?
So he's supportive. He
is very
understands
supportive.
how important this work is.
Yes, he does.
And also people, if they're trying to stay home instead of going into assisted living, Meals on Wheels is a wonderful option
it is
for
wonderful.
people that want to stay home.
Correct. Yes, and it's 5 days a week. You know, unfortunately, it does follow the school schedule for during school year. That, you know, if the school's closed, they're closed, but they do provide emergency food box, and I found that it's great. It's got five meals,
Yes.
and I find that probably 50% of the people eat it that same day.
They're like, yummy.
Yeah, it's like a treat.
It's a feast.
It's
Yay.
a treat, but it's like,
It is interesting how a lot of the food services go through the schools. Because
Yeah.
I noticed that with COVID as well, they were doing meal distribution kind of on
Yes.
an emergency
Yeah.
basis, which was wonderful.
it was wonderful. You wonder how many kids would have not had if they didn't do that.
Well, thank you both for your community outreach, and what I think you think it's just, you know, another thing that you do, but it really is a important thing that you're doing for the community.
Thank you.
So, I want to get into kind of the new future that you're kind of doing with Maple Hill Farm, where you're kind of getting innovative about how you're fertilizing your property. And I had never heard about this before, so I'm hoping that you can educate me a little bit more, but you're calling it biochar.
Yes.
So you want to talk a little bit about that, how it goes from, you know, wood on your property to biochar.
Yeah, there's lots of ways to make biochar. You basically have to heat wood really hot under
Okay.
a low oxygen environment.
Okay.
If it gets oxygen, it burns and turns into ash.
So this is where you had the like two 55-gallon drums
Well, I have a 55-gallon drum and a smaller drum
inside
of
of
that.
it. Okay.
And the wood you want to turn into biochar goes into the smaller drum in the center.
Okay.
And then you surround that one with wood to heat it up.
It looked like you were blowtorching that stuff.
Yeah, it gets
It does.
intense.
You
'Cause-
look like you enjoy it. This is like
It's beautiful. He did it at night, and it just glows. It's just a.
It looks like you're getting more than just a campfire.
Oh yeah. I should have gotten the marshmallows out.
Yeah, I think they would char.
Oh yeah, instantly.
It's like torch marshmallow roasting. Even your marshmallow roasting is extreme.
Yeah.
So tell us what it does for the plants. Tell us what it does for your
Well,
land.
Here's what it looks like.
Oh, it's cool. It looks like you could do a little.
It's very You can hear the sound of it.
Yes. Looks like you could do a little charcoal sketch with
I
it.
think
So-
you can. It
Yeah.
gets pretty messy.
What I do with this, I hit it with a tamper and break it into small pieces.
Okay.
And then you have to charge it.
Oh, how do you charge it?
Because like a piece this size has the surface area inside of it of a football field.
Really?
It's just all pores and hollow structure.
Amazing.
It's pure carbon.
Pure carbon, that's right.
And so when you charge it, there's several ways to do that too. You could mix it with your compost pile.
Okay.
You could put it in water with, like I do, with worm castings, bat guano, fish fertilizer.
You even have extreme biochar.
Well, I mean, yeah. And then it's
So
just,
there's microorganisms in there
yeah, it becomes full of microorganisms,
that brings
nutrients.
back the topsoil, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And unlike fertilizer, this lasts forever.
Oh, it
You
does.
put it in the soil is amended forever.
That's awesome
Yeah,
because
they-
a lot of fertilizers you gotta
Oh, yeah.
apply. You might know better, but apply like at least twice a year,
And the
if not more.
cost of the fertilizer is prohibitive now.
It skins, right?
Yeah, oh,
Yeah.
lots of skins. Lots of skins.
So that is awesome.
Yeah.
Do you think, I don't know, I kind of feel like this could be another enterprise for you all. A lot of people are into homesteading now and being more sustainable, and so they want anything that's going to supercharge their garden.
Yeah. You can look at YouTube and how to make it, and it's not that hard.
And actually, you can buy the
Or you might be the next biochar dealer.
No, I just make it in small quantities.
You never know, right?
You
Who
do-
knows? It
But-
could be the future of Maple Hill Farm, right?
But the other benefit of biochar, this is pure carbon.
Yes, so it's like energy.
It's taking carbon from the air, putting it back into the soil. So it's not carbon neutral, it's carbon negative.
Okay,
It's one of
They're
the
talking-
only ways to do that.
that's neat.
They say we've got too much carbon in the air, so
Here we go.
yeah.
So it's win-win not only for the soil but also for the air.
Yes. And his latest plantings of the Christmas trees was all done with a mix of his compost with the composted earth and what else? The biochar and
Yeah, loam compost
Yeah.
mixed with biochar. So we'll see how that turns out.
So you're really fertilizing forever when you're planting the trees with biochar.
Yes.
So, you know, you
hopefully
can't.
it's a win-win. That's
It sounds like a win-win.
that's
So
test it.
the one thing we didn't get to talk about is you're Tommy Southwick, and so the area at large before it was Maple Hill was also called Southwick Hill. Is that correct? Or was it like a Southwick area?
It was Southwick area that
Yeah, my aunt lived across the street, uncle down the street, other aunt down the street.
And
Right.
still to this day, you have a lot of family surrounding you.
Right.
yeah, they're two cousins and well, three properties owned by cousins.
Yeah.
So this is, you know, like a Southwick compound almost, and has been for a very long time.
Yes. Well, he's the third generation, consistent generation on that property. His grandfather was there, his father, and then Tommy. And we're not sure. There is
Yeah, my uncle's written like books about the history.
Albert Southwick.
That's what you were telling us.
Yes.
What is the name of the book?
Oh,
He has
there's
many books.
Oh, he does.
Yes.
Albert.
So if you're interested in the history, you can check out some of the Southwick books and
Yeah.
really get into how it was basically settled, right?
Yeah,
The area was settled.
It talks about many generations. It talks
I
about
think they're all in the Leicester Library.
they are in the
Yeah.
Leicester Library.
Isn't that wonderful?
Yeah.
So not only did we have a wonderful experience, we also got a history lesson. I want to thank you both for coming in. It was such a wonderful time chatting with you. You two are really a fun bunch,
Well,
I have
thank
to
you.
say.
It was interesting.
And I want to thank you for all that you're doing for the community and your magnificent creations that'll go back on my front door. Yay. Thank you so much.
Thank you for
Yeah,
having
thank
us.
you.
So, thank you for coming and witnessing our Bring It to the Table with Maple Hill Farm. We will be coming back at you very soon with more amazing guests that will show you exactly what is being created in your community. Happy holidays, everybody.